about GROK and GROK 2, which is the brand new release. It's literally just got announced a few hours ago. You can see GROK 2 mini beta right there is ready to go. And we're going to be talking through because this is pretty urgent to share with you. Basically, there's a new player in town, GROK 2, turning the SEO game on its head. I'm going to show you what it does differently to GPT. We're going to be comparing it directly against GPT and Claude. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Because today as well, we're going to be talking about how to create SEO optimized content that ranks. We're going to be talking about the fun mode trick that unlocks GROK's full potential and why GROK is leaving ChatGPT and Claude behind in some ways. I'll be talking about that in a minute, and we'll get straight into this bad boy. Now, this is live, so if you have any questions, feel free to ask them as we go along. Otherwise, I'm going to kick this bad boy off. Now, if you're not sure what GROK is, this is the AI model directly inside Twitter. So it's launched by Elon Musk. Elon Musk owns X. He's launched this new AI model inside there called GROK. And this is the brand new version of it called GROK 2. Now, what's interesting about this is that this is actually available for free. And I'll show you how to do it in a minute. Plus, it can now generate images, which I'll come on to in a minute. And we'll be covering all the latest use cases for that. Gal says, I'm starting to think Julian is actually an AI. There's no way this man still has value to deliver. Thank you very much, sir. And what we're going to do now is I'll just be looking through and showing you some of the crazy stuff that people have created using GROK, plus how you can do similar things. So if we actually look at the announcement, you can see that GROK actually just announced this, and it wasn't released so long ago. So it was literally just announced a few hours ago yesterday. And additionally, I'm going to show you some examples of what GROK 2 looks like. So if we type in GROK 2 into the Explore bar here, it's trending like crazy right now. And you can see some of the crazy stuff you can do with this. Now, if you actually look at GROK, it can actually generate memes, and it can generate memes with famous people's faces, as you can see right here. And if we keep scrolling down, for example, you've got Donald Trump sprinting in the Olympics, sprinter Trump, as you can see right here. If we go back, some other stuff, let's have a look. Why is that not loaded properly? Here's another one. So you can see how it generates like cartoons. You've got Kim Jong-un over there as well. So it generates famous people's faces, which I've never seen before. And it seems to have way less guardrails and way less restrictions versus anything in ChatGPT and Claude. Here's another example. So you can see, for example, you've got some interesting images here with Trump. Loads of people creating Trump memes at the minute. And yeah, it's crazy stuff. In fact, if you look at the actual thumbnail that we've generated for this video, which you can see right here, this thumbnail was generated with AI in one single click. How did I do it? Using GROK. Now, one of the first places that we're going to start is I'm going to walk you through exactly how these modes work. So you can switch between beta and fun mode and non-fun mode, right? So this is the smaller version of GROK. It's not like the full version, full capability. This is just a mini version because it's in beta mode right now. And you can switch between fun mode or non-fun mode. Obviously, you can guess what the difference is between them. One is more fun than the other. And first of all, how we're going to kick this off is we're going to use a prompt that I usually use for creating content. And then we're going to plug that directly into GROK. So let me do that for a minute. And you can see I've pasted in this SOP right here. If you want to get access, check out SEO Systems in my free course and then go to GROK 2 and you'll find it right there. And Akram says GROK with a K, not a Q. Absolutely. It's not to be confused with Llama 3.1 or anything like that. This is GROK with a K, as you can see there. So we're going to hit enter on this article and we'll see what it's like for generating content and how good it actually is. Now, as we're waiting for that to run, let's answer some of the other questions that we've got. Jason says, hey, good to see you on here, mate. And Tourist Spot 10 says, please give me a prompt for SEO optimizing article. I think I gave you one last time, mate, but we're going to use the same prompt, which is this one right here. If you want the SOP, it's in the free course, SEO Systems, and then Twitter. What else we got? Yash says, nice to see you on here. And Akram says, what's the language model on this bad boy? Maybe we can check the languages in a second, actually. So you can see this is the content that's created. Now, what I'm actually going to do is I will pull this up. And I think to be a fair test, bear in mind, GROK 2 is a mini version. The only fair way to test it will be to test it versus ChatGPT 4.0, because that is a mini version of GROK. right? That's a mini version of ChatGPT. So we're going to switch to GPT-4o, and then we'll plug exactly the same prompt that we used inside GROK and compare what the content creation is like versus each two. Now, I have a feeling which one's going to be best. I'll tell you afterwards, but I would honestly say that there's a lot more to GROK that most people don't realize, and I'll show you some more use cases for that in a minute. What else we got here? So Goal says thoughts on using H domains. From what I've tested, I've run one test, so I don't have like a statistically relevant test. From what I've seen, it's not working that well for me compared to new domains, right? So for example, if you look at the new domain that we built out recently, which we did after my public case study got wiped out, you can see juliangoldie.co.uk and you can see the traffic is going to the moon right there, right? And that was just in a couple of months. That is a brand new domain, had no history. We just built some quality backlinks to it, put some quality content on it, and it's a living dream, right? It gets more traffic than most websites. I would say for me, that is personally working better than H domains when I've tested both. Now, I haven't got a statistically relevant case study for that, so I'm not going to say this is the best option, but that's just what's working for me. So we're going to keep going through now. And if we compare these side by side, as you can see right here, if we look at the content, what I would say is if we, for example, look at the title and we'll compare ChatGPT 4o's title right here, and we'll compare that versus Twitter, you can see that the title from ChatGPT 4o is better quality. And then if we scroll down, you can see that the content itself is more interesting, right? So let me zoom in and I'll show you what I mean. This content is certainly more interesting than the content written inside GROK, if you ask me. And then if we scroll down as well, with the same prompt, with the same keyword, etc., if we compare these side by side, you can see that GROK isn't that good for creating SEO content simply because it doesn't give as much information. And it's all about these bullet points. You can see it's almost like just a little reference list with different bullet points. Now, what you can also do is if you select some content, you can click on Ask GROK right there, and then it will elaborate on the content that is created, right? But honestly, I just don't think it's that great for creating articles yet. Maybe that will change with the new model. But yeah, so far I'm seeing the ChatGPT 4o, which is free. Bear in mind, GROK is paid unless you use a method that I'll show you in a second. And so, yeah, I would say GPT-4o is still better when it comes to creating content. I'm not even going to compare it to Claude because Claude, of course, is ridiculously powerful and it's not a mini model. So I think it'd be unfair to compare those side by side. But what you can see here is what it looks like, the content, etc. Now I'm going to run through some more use cases in a second, including YouTube thumbnails and picture generation, right? Now, this is really powerful because, for example, if we go onto Google and we'll type something like Perplexity AI SEO into Google, not only can I rank on the first page of Google, but I can also rank with my images. So if you go to images right here, you can see that my image, which is a YouTube thumbnail, is ranking #1 for that keyword as well, which is just another way of generating more traffic to that video. Same with this image right here. And if we keep scrolling down, same with this image and this one too, right? So you can rank with AI generated images. You can host them on different platforms. This is hosted on LinkedIn, for example. This one was hosted on YouTube. You can host it on your website, wherever you want to host it. But the main thing is that you can generate images with AI and then rank those directly on Google too. So let me show you another example of how you can use GROK to do this. So let's say, for example, I want to rank for the keyword GROK SEO. What I could do is if we go through some of my chat history right here, and we'll look at some of the previous chats. Let me go back. We'll go into previous chats and we'll scroll down and we'll click on a random example. Let me find one for you quickly here. We won't be looking for Casbuller SEO. Let me have a look. It's not even showing me the latest history right here. All right, let me show you an example of how to generate this. We'll put GROK, Elon Musk, with a crazy AI robot that looks menacing, right? Something like that. And the thing that I've noticed when it comes to generating images with GROK, and I've only tested this for a few hours, but the more specific you can be with the prompt and the more basic and simple it is, the better that's going to turn out, right? So for example, you can see this image generated right here. We could put the text on the left right here, but that is an image that you could rank for GROK AI SEO, which you'll see with this YouTube video when it ranks on Google as well. So that's one of the best ways that I think you can rank with GROK AI SEO is that you generate images and then you rank those on Google because the image quality is so much better than ChatGPT. Let me pull up another example. So if we take exactly the same prompt and we go on to ChatGPT 4o Mini just to compare them side by side, we'll hit in the same prompt right here. And whilst we're waiting for that to load, just one thing, if you want to get a free SEO strategy session, link is in the comments in the description, and we can one-to-one give you tips on how to grow your business, how to get more leads, traffic, and sales with SEO, and how to rank on Google based on what's working for me. I've already shown you proof of that working right now. So as an example, if we compare the exact same prompt from GROK, which got us a fairly decent output, I would say I'd probably still try and create some more interesting images, but that's not bad for a first go. If we compare that versus ChatGPT, you can see that ChatGPT refuses my orders. It's not listening to me. It doesn't want to hear it, right? So for example, I've put Elon Musk with a crazy AI robot that looks menacing, and it said I couldn't generate the image because the request didn't align with the content policy. And if you want to adjust the description or create a new idea, feel free to share it. Essentially, go do one, mate. I don't care how much you pay me, right? And so GROK is performing better than ChatGPT simply because it's less restricted. And I find the same problem with, for example, Claude. When I'm using Claude as well, I have exactly the same problem where quite often day to day, I'll be restricted with what I can generate, even if it's just a basic task and it's not even anything to do with PC stuff. So it's interesting to see that actually, if you take the guardrails off an AI model, it can be a lot more useful. Now, obviously, if that gets in the wrong hands, but yeah, you get the image. Neil says, "Hi, Julian. Shout out to you, sir. Good to see you on here." I'm going to keep going through this now. And if you do have any questions about this as we go along, feel free to post them. So we've covered so far fun mode versus normal. We've covered creating and ranking articles using GROK AI and how ChatGPT is actually better for content creation. We've covered YouTube thumbnails and also how to rank images, right? So you can rank images, you can create images like this. You can actually ask it like, can I use this on my website and for YouTube thumbnails? Let's ask it that. We'll hit enter. And it said, you're welcome to use the image for your website or thumbnails. But remember, I'm just a text-based AI, right? And so it actually gives you permission to use these images, as you can see right here. So the other thing that I would say, and this is probably the most powerful thing about Twitter in general, is that you can actually post articles directly inside Twitter. And when you do this, let me show you an example. So when you do this, it will appear on your article section on Twitter, like here. And you can see that some of these articles get a decent amount of views. So for example, if you publish an article on your blog today, it might take 7 or 2 weeks, or it might take a month before you start getting any decent amount of views. You can see already just by posting this article right here, we got 400 views on this article. You can see again, we got 600 views on this article. You can see with this article, we got 815 views, right? And so if you're posting content, let's say you're creating it with GROK using the prompts I showed previously, then creating it inside Twitter, you can actually get a decent amount of views and sometimes more than your actual website. As an example of that, if we type in the keyword, let's see AI SEO strategies into Google, like you can see right here, and we'll see what's ranking. You can see that my Twitter article is ranking on Google right here. And this was created 4 days ago, but it's already got 800 views. And so if you want to get a lot of traffic to your website quickly, not only can you publish and rank that content with SEO, but you can also post that article inside Twitter and get more views that way, which means the same amount of work, but you get bigger and better results like I'm showing you. So that's one of the most powerful ways to use GROK as well. Doctor Who Design says hello. Hello to you too. And we've talked about ranking articles with Twitter directly. The other cool thing that I want to show you, right, is that you can actually animate these images. So let me go back to GROK. Let me find it here, like you can see. And then we'll go back to that chat that we just created, this one right here, as you can see. And you can actually animate these images using Luma Dreamlabs, which is another free tool for AI. So if we go on to Luma Labs, as you can see, here's a couple of examples I created earlier. So if we check out this particular thumbnail, what I did was I downloaded the image from GROK, generated it inside GROK, and then uploaded it to Luma Images. And you can see it looks pretty cool if you ask me, right? And so you can animate and turn the memes or the GIFs or the images that you create on GROK and turn them into animated GIFs like this. And then they're basically AI videos, but it's completely faceless. Pretty crazy stuff if you ask me. So we've also talked about that. The other thing that I want to show you with GROK is that you can actually generate content around the latest events. So let's go back to GROK and I'll show you what I mean. We'll start a new chat. You can click new chat in the top right. And if we click on tell me today's headlines, what this is going to do is it will actually generate the latest news and the headlines from today. Now, why is that? Why does GROK have the latest information versus other platforms? It's because GROK has all this data coming in from people tweeting and talking about certain events that are happening. And so it can use that data in real time to generate responses. Now, it's not always 100% right, and it doesn't always get the facts right, as you can imagine with any sort of AI model. But if you ask, for example, ChatGPT or you ask Claude, which are two direct competitors, when was your last update? And we'll plug the same question into Claude. You can see that the last, actually that's strange, I've never seen that before, but it says the last update for ChatGPT was August 2024. But yeah, there we go. So the knowledge base was updated to April 2024 inside Claude. So even though Claude is really good for creating content, it's not updated with the latest information. Whereas GROK, it actually is updated with the latest automation. Now, Harissa says, Julian, good job as always. Happy to help. Thank you and glad it helps. And you can see here, for example, it's come up with a bunch of headlines. For example, as you can see in this headline, it says political shenanigans. So these are the headlines from today. And it says, there's a buzz about Trump targeting Google and Kamala Harris, suggesting some sort of media manipulation. It's like watching a space opera where the villain accuses the Galaxy's news network bias, right? So if we go onto Google and we'll just check that headline is actually true and relevant, we're going to type in, for example, Trump, Google, and Harris and see if that actually is a headline. And as you can see right here, there is a headline from today, from 6 hours ago, which is brand new news and it's been covered directly inside GROK. So it's quite interesting to see if you were in a certain niche where you're trying to create content on the latest news and topics. I think this could be one of the best ways to do it, because otherwise what you'd have to do is get the latest news from somewhere else and then upload that to Claude for content creation. Now we've got a couple of questions. Let's see what we got here. Goal says, would you use GROK for blog images versus other alternatives? Not sure how you go about images to use usually for blog posts. Yeah, so I don't actually insert a lot of blogs, a lot of images into my blogs, but I'll show you an example of what this looks like in action. So if we go to my latest post on LinkedIn and we'll look at some relevant articles that I've created, like for example, this one. What I usually do is I generate the image with AI and I use that as a banner image for the content, like you can see right here. Now, the thing to note here is if you look at it, the image itself isn't as realistic as GROK. So GROK's images are way more realistic. For example, if I put lazy ChatGPT AI robot surrounded by cash, we'll put that image prompt into GROK and we'll see what it comes back with versus ChatGPT. But like you can see right here, the content from GROK is quite often, the content from ChatGPT is quite often unrealistic, right? It's more like cartoon style. Whereas if you look at the image from GROK, it's more kind of like a Shutterstock image or a stock image, right? And so I would say that if you want more realistic images, go with GROK. But if you want more images that are kind of like cartoon style, then go with ChatGPT. That's my take. Movers says GROK access is like $8 a month, right? I'm going to show you two ways that you can. I'm going to show you one way to access this for free, actually. And you can get access in the chatbot arena, right? So if you go to lmarena.ai, and I've included all the links that I'm talking about inside the SCP, and I've shown you how to get that today, but you can actually get access to sus column R. That is a model inside the LM arena that is actually GROK 2 beta version. And so you can use it for free inside here. And so if you just want to get free access instantly, just go to lmarena.ai/model =sus-column R, just like that URL right there. So Normally, GROK directly inside Twitter is $8 a month for premium, but you can get free access using this right here. Neil says, when I book a call with your company for a strategy session, could we also discuss these kind of strategies? Because some people say SEO is dead. I say SEO is dead all the time. So yeah, that's it. If you book in a call with us, link is in the comments and description, or just go to juliangoldie.co.uk. You can book in a call with us and we'll talk you through exactly how we're using AI to rank and some of our best strategies. Now, one of the best ways that you can learn how to do this is directly inside the SEO Elite Circle. Inside the SEO Elite Circle, we have a bunch of different courses on how you can rank with AI, plus some of the newest systems that I cannot show you on YouTube directly. So if you want some of the most powerful ways to make money and rank with SEO and AI, join the SEO Elite Circle. And as a client, you also get access to that too. D Ward says, I signed up with you. How do I log in for the SEO Mastery? If you want to log in for SEO Mastery, I mean, it sounds like you've logged in. It sounds like you've bought the Link Building Mastery course. If that's the case, then you can just log in. You'll see the email directly. If you cannot find the email or login details, just message us at me@juliangoldie.com. Send us the email address that you've bought with, and we will give you instant access. GameC says, thank you for all the videos so far. May I ask you if you are planning to do any videos in programmatic SEO? What's your thoughts on that? My thoughts are that I have to be very careful what I show directly on YouTube because so many public case studies get slapped. And so what I've actually done is you will find multiple programmatic SEO coaching sessions inside the SEO Elite Circle. Just go to the guest coaching sessions because I can't show that stuff on YouTube, right? No way I can show that on YouTube. And Movers says, dope, thanks for the GROK tip, happy to help. And Alsfera says, DALL-E sucks so much, just use something else, Midjourney, Ideogram, or Flux. So Flux is actually the model inside GROK from what I remember. I'm just going to double check that, but I'm pretty sure that Flux is a model. Let me double check. We'll put Flux GROK inside Twitter. And yeah, you can see the GROK 2, when it dropped, they snuck in the Flux model inside their image generation. So that's what they're using to generate images inside this model is Flux. And it's pretty cool. The fact that it's not guardrailed, pretty crazy stuff if you ask me. The other thing that I would say is that if you're in a gray niche, let's say you're in some sort of gray niche where normally you couldn't create content for your niche with AI because there's guardrails on ChatGPT or there's guardrails on Claude, potentially I would imagine you could use something like GROK because it has less guardrails on what you can create on there. As you can see right here, like Mickey Mouse giving us a finger and smoking a cheeky little cigarette right there. That's an example of how little this is guardrailed. So it's crazy stuff, to be honest with you. Let's keep going through now. And I've talked about fun mode versus normal, creating and ranking articles, YouTube thumbnails. I've talked about ranking images, how to rank articles inside Twitter. I've talked about Luma Labs, and also the latest news and recent updates inside GROK that you can use for content creation. And we've also compared Claude versus ChatGPT for outputs, plus how you can use this for gray niche content along with something else that's quite interesting. So what you can do, let me show you an example right here. You can grab the URL of a tweet, then you can go down to GROK, and if you paste this URL into GROK, as you can see, so if you paste the URL from the post, it will actually explain what the actual content is about, right? And as you can see, it explains, okay, this is by that account, blah, blah, blah. It gives some examples of posts from that person, and it just gives a little breakdown on the post, which is quite interesting as well. Now, the other thing that you can do is if you select some of the text, you can ask GROK, and then it will expand on some of the other stuff it said. So there's like 10 different ways that you can use this. And the thing that interests me is not how powerful GROK is right now, but how powerful GROK will be on later updates. Because if it's using the data from Twitter and it's all fed in real time, then it's only going to become smarter and better. And also you can see they're upgrading it in different ways. Now, with Elon talking a lot about the freedom of speech, that ties into the freedom of using AI, right? Because, for example, you can see there's less guardrails. You can see it's less restricted inside these AI models, which means that if you can use this in ways that you're not restricted, potentially that's going to appeal to a lot more people. And people are always looking for like ways to jailbreak AI anyway. So this is one of the most powerful ways to just get this sort of content. Good Vibe says, you've been amazing in the last videos, amazing value, crazy. You've got a new fan. Thanks very much. Really appreciate that. And good vibes to you. So thank you, sir. Floor says, this is great. Happy to help. And Master Techno says, okay. Well, that's what I'm talking about. All right. So I want to run you through a few other notes that I've got right here, including, let me pull this up. I want to show you how well this has performed so far, right? So you got to bear in mind that GROK is a mini model, right? So it's not the most powerful model. It's a smaller version and it's in beta, so it's more like GPT-4o. So I would keep your expectations low for now, but when the full version comes out, then it's going to be better. The other thing that I've seen, and some people have talked about this, is that there's a limit. Now, I've not seen a limit on this, right? So you can see, for example, some people saying there's a limit on how much you can create, probably about 25 an hour when it comes to content on GROK. I've not seen that. I've not seen any limits, but that's an interesting thing to note. Also, as you can see right here, GROK 2 image generation is better than llamas and has no dumb guardrails, which you can see right there. And if you're wondering about the pricing of GROK, like I said, you can access it for free. I've already shown you how to do that, but also you can get access via premium, which is $8 a month on Twitter. So for example, premium starts at $8 a month or $84 per year on the web. The other thing that I want to show you is my Twitter SOP for actually ranking and creating content. Because if you're thinking about using Twitter for SEO, then you can use some of the workflows that I've created that have proven to rank for me, as you can see right here. And then you can also syndicate it into different posts, right? So you can take your SEO content, you can rank and create content directly inside Twitter. You can publish it, and then you can syndicate that content in multiple ways. I've got two different automations right there, the 100x content machine and the make.com automation. This is all in the video notes. As I've shown you how to get access, you can get access inside the free course. Just go to SEO systems and then GROK 2, you'll find it. And that's basically a way that you can rank with Twitter SEO. Now, if you're wondering, okay, does Twitter actually rank and that sort of thing? I've already shown you an example, but if we go into x.com and we'll look at their traffic and their growth, and you can see that it's absolutely outrageous. So they've grown from 1 million traffic back in May to 22.4 million traffic, as you can see right here. I think as more people are posting articles directly on Twitter, and the easier it becomes to create content with GROK and then post it, the more SEO traffic Twitter is going to get, and the easier it's going to be to rank with this content. So something to bear in mind right here. Akram says, is GROK connected to the internet? Can it scrape Google search results? I don't think it can. Let's double check and we'll try it together. So I'm going to try it right now. I'm going to say, what are the top 10 results on the first page of Google for Perplexity AI SEO? Something like that. We'll see what it comes back with. And you can see that it just guesses. So it's not connected to the internet, just to confirm. Definitely not connected to Google. And you can see that it cannot scrape or connect with the first page of Google. Really good question, though, Akram. Great point right there. And Raphael says, that link for free GROK doesn't work. They have many LMs there, but not GROK. So this is, if you want to get access to GROK, right? Let me just type it in right here. We'll find the example right here. So the model that is GROK 2 on LM6 is sus column R, right? And this is available inside the chatbot arena, as you can see right here. And so if you want to get access to it, just go to the LM arena and then find the sus column R model right here. As an example of that, here's me in the LM arena on the model sus column R, and I can use that, as you can see right here, and put in my prompts directly down here. And that's how you can get access to GROK 2 for free, as you can see inside the chatbot arena. I'm confirming it for you. I've shown you how to do it. That's how you do it. Vanessa says, thanks for your input about GROK. Happy to help. I'm glad that this content helps you. Goal says, for Twitter articles, if your starting point is a blog post, Would you duplicate it as an article on Twitter, or does that count as duplicate content? If so, how would you use Twitter in this instance? So here's how I would use Twitter. Number one, every time you post something new on a new platform, make sure that your content is unique, right? So for example, if you're posting to Reddit, or you're posting to LinkedIn, or you're posting to your website, or to Medium, or to Twitter, make sure your content is unique every single time. And then from there, you can use this workflow right here, which you can see, for example, you can get the keywords using this method, then you can create the content with AI using this method. From there, you can publish it, and from there, you can syndicate it using these two automated tools. Is it spam? No, because you're using the SEO checklist that I've given away many times inside my content. And so that's basically how it works. As an example of that, if we go onto a keyword like perplexity AI SEO, you can see that the content that I've created and ranked on the first page of Google is unique every time. And that's the key. It's got to be unique, because if it's duplicate content, it will not rank. So for example, you can see this YouTube video ranking, then this one on the first page. These are both created by myself. And then from here, you can go down and you can click on these example pages. And if we do that, you can see that the content I've posted on Medium is unique to the content that I've created on LinkedIn. Two totally unique articles, two totally different sets of content. That's how you would use it. Good Vibes Only says, can you access LM Arena through API? Automation ideas for posting latest news is crazy with GROK. Big love, man. So from what I've seen, you cannot get the API through LM Arena. The way to do it is to get the API directly from GROK. So if you type in API GROK on Google, you'll get the access to the API. But the problem is it's not the API from GROK 2, because that's still in beta. And the API for GROK 2 has not been released yet. I think they're planning to release it on enterprise API plans, but right now you can't get access to it. And so there's only the older version of GROK, which I still think is okay, but it's nowhere near as impressive as GROK 2 right now, to be honest with you. Let's have a look what else I wanted to cover in this video as we go along. And yeah, I'm just pretty impressed with GROK. I think it will be a powerful way to generate content in the future, particularly if you're in the news space, and particularly if you're thinking about, okay, how do we use this step by step? Now, this is a GROK page. So this is a GROK API page, as you can see right here. And if you want to see the full details and the breakdown and the benchmarks of GROK, you can see it inside this particular article. You see GROK 2 beta release, and it says GROK 2 is our frontier language model with state-of-the-art reasoning capabilities. This includes 2 members of the GROK family. GROK 2, which is a separate model. So this is not the model I'm showing you today, because GROK 2 is not the model of GROK 2 Mini, right? And so GROK 2 Mini is what I've got access to, and then GROK 2, I believe, will be released later, and that'll probably be even better and crazier. The other thing that I would say with GROK, and I didn't really mention this earlier, is that GROK is pretty quick to respond. So if we go back onto GROK, and we'll create a new chat, as you can see, and we'll just click on one of these random things, like help me write a cover letter. You can see that the actual responses are really fast. So it actually responds really quickly when it comes to creating content. That's another pro. Now, as we scroll down, you can see how GROK 2 performs in terms of chat capabilities, right? So if we go down here, you can see this is the model, sus column R. And in terms of ELO scores on the chatbot arena, so this is voted on by real people, you can see that GROK comes in at number 4. Number 1 is ChatGPT 4o. Number 2 is Gemini 1.5 Pro. Number 4 is GROK right there. And then there's a bunch of other models underneath. Now, the other thing you can see here is you can see the win rate of GROK 2 against competing models on Chatbot Arena. So, for example, the win rate of GROK 2 is 70% versus DeepSeek. And yeah, these are some more benchmarks, so you can see exactly how GROK 2 Mini performs versus GPT-4o Mini. GPT-4o Turbo, Claude 3 Opus, Gemini 1.5, Llama 3 and GPT-4o as well. So it's not too far behind, but I still don't think it's as good as ChatGPT-4o for creating content. And that's how you get access to it. So that's pretty much it, I think, in terms of the whole thing that I wanted to show you in terms of how this works as well. Jason says, blimey, this is just insane. If you don't see the value Julian's giving, you're, well, yeah, something like that. And Dr. Z says, is the content created with GROK unique, plagiarism free? That is a great question. We can have a look. We'll run it through a plagiarism checker right now. So I'm going to log into originality in the background, which is one of the best places I can check for plagiarism. I'm imagining that the content will come out highly AI generated, but I also imagine that it will be plagiarism free most of the time. So if we come back to this prompt that we were talking about earlier, and this is a document with all the notes. If we come back to this prompt and we'll take this one right here, we'll plug that into GROK, we'll paste it in right there, and then we'll get it to generate some content. And once it's generated that content, we can run it through a plagiarism check on originality and see how it performs, right? So we'll click on detect AI and we'll click on check plagiarism. And from here, we've got the content and it's just blasting out. But again, it's very much bullet pointed. It's very much, it feels AI even when I look at it, right? I don't even have to read it to know that this probably isn't great for content creation. The other thing that I would say right here is that it doesn't even insert internal links. So you can see that it doesn't insert internal links, unlike I instructed it to. So that's something to bear in mind as well. It may just be the GROK doesn't do very well with longer prompts. And so if you gave it a shorter, more simpler prompt, it might give you a better output. So we're going to wait for this now, and we'll give it a content scan and just see how it performs. Now, whilst we're waiting for that, we'll answer Dr. Z, who says, is there API option in GROK to use it outside the platform like OpenAI? So you can get access to the API. If you type in GROK API SDK on Google, you will see the developer platform right there, and then you can get the API details right there. But again, right now, until it's released, this is purely for the older version of GROK. So GROK version 1.1, right? It's not for the new version. So something to be aware of right there. And you can see, if we look at the plagiarism score, this is what I predicted, right? I was just spot on. I should be Mystic Meg with a crystal ball here. You can see that inside the plagiarism score, it is 0% plagiarized. So that's what I expected, because I've never really seen AI content come out as plagiarized. Just never seems to be an issue. But if we go to the AI results, and as I predicted, it's likely to be AI, right? 100% confidence that it is AI. So if it's obvious to originality, probably going to be obvious to Google or anywhere else you create content. Whether it's quality content or not, I wouldn't say it is, right? If you look at the content itself, I think it needs a lot of editing. And when you've got options like Claude 3.5 Sonnet for free, then that's probably a much better option versus creating content directly on GROK. So yeah, comes out 100% AI generated, comes out 0% plagiarized, and we're going to keep going through some of the questions. Sudeep says, is there a free option? So there is a free option at LM Arena. Just go to lmarena.ai and then go to the model called sus column R right there. And that's basically it. So if you want to get access to the video notes from today, including the SOP, all the links that I've talked about, etc., you can get that inside my free course. Links in the comments and description. Just go to SEO Systems and then GROK AI. And Goal says real recognizes real, AI recognizes AI. Julian is confirmed as AI. I should just call myself Julian GPT on YouTube at this point. Yeah, basically the amount I use AI, I'm 50% AI, I believe. So that's basically it. Now, if you want to get a free SEO strategy session, link is available at juliangoldie.co.uk. Otherwise, just check out the link in the comments in the description, and you can get a free one-to-one SEO strategy session where we'll show you how we take websites from 0 to 145,000 visitors per month and generate thousands of dollars in sales. We can also talk about how I personally rank on Google, how I rank on YouTube, and also how I rank directly inside AI models, for example, like Perplexity and other AI models like that. If you want to learn how I do that, book in a free SEO strategy session. Additionally, on this call, and this is a free call, normally consultants are charging you thousands of dollars for this. I'm giving it away for free, but on this free call, you get a free SEO domination plan, discover the secrets of link building, we'll answer any questions you have, you learn the best link building strategy for your website, you learn how to outrank your competitors with link building, and you learn how to increase your SEO traffic based on what's working for me, right? And I've shown you proof that all of these methods that I show you actually work. Akram says, Julian GVT. And Passive Income Playground says, I've been looking at your free course and a small percentage of the information contained. I'm blown away by what you give away for free. Thanks very much. That's what I'm talking about. I'm here to help people, and I'm glad that the content helps you, right? This is all about empowering you to make sure that you can implement stuff and learn this stuff for free, because a lot of people will charge you like thousands of dollars for courses like this. Inside that free course, we have over 100 tutorials, 200 chat GPT prompts, 33 AI SEO tools. You're getting all this stuff for free just because I want to help you and I want to empower you to get more leads, to get more traffic, to get more sales using the processes that work for me. Goal says, thank you, legend. Really appreciate all the value you provide. Happy to help too. And Neil says, absolute legend. Really happy. Really, we got so much positivity on the live stream today. I really appreciate that, everyone. All right. Thanks very much. Kept it short and sweet. Appreciate everyone who's joined in. And I will see you on the next one, my friends. Bye-bye.